I argue with people all the time about
what is the best online business to start.
what I'm about to share with you may shock you.
A business that can give you time, location, and eventually financial freedom so that you can maybe pay off your mortgage, spend time with your loved ones, with your family, buy some nice toys along the way, and just get to live your best life. Is it Amazon FBA, dropshipping, affiliate marketing, a marketing agency, info product? Which is best, and how do you know which one is right for you? Because something that's right for one person isn't necessarily going to be suited to everyone. So let's start by looking at the various different models and ranking them on a system of 1 to 10. 1 being easy and 10 being difficult to achieve something. Now, I'm gonna cover FBA, dropshipping, the agency model, e-learning, and affiliate. Now, if I've missed a very popular or common business model, let me know in the comments what I've missed and let me know your thoughts on that particular business model. So let's start off with Amazon FBA, and we're gonna rank them on several categories. The first being the setup time. How long is it gonna take you to set this particular business up? The second category is going to be the skill level. So how much skill set are you going to need in order to make this work? Then we're going to go into profit margins. How profitable is that particular business on a scale of 1 to 10? We're then going to look at the startup capital, because look, you can start a business virtually on nothing, but some business models, that's just not possible, as you will see in a second. And last is the product delivery. So once you have made the sale, in other words, once people have handed you their cash, how do you deliver the product? Is it easy to deliver? Is it hard to deliver? Does it require a lot of your time? So let's start off with Amazon FBA. Now, on a setup score of 1 to 10, 1 being easy and 10 being difficult, I'm going to score Amazon FBA business to set up on a score of 5. The reason is not that difficult, but it's also not easy because there are many factors to consider. You have to consider product research, you have to consider, seasonal stock, you have to consider trending stocks. There are so many things to consider, including other competitors, what they're selling for, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna go in the middle on this one. It's gonna be a 5 out of 10. So it's not the simplest, but it's also not the hardest. The skill level in order to set this up, again, I don't think it's particularly hard, and I don't think it's particularly easy either. So I'm probably gonna go with a 5 again, because there are so many tools now that will tell you which product sells well, which product ranks well, what the profit margins are, how many units of something people are selling. So it will make your life a lot easier. But really, there is going to be a lot of work in sourcing that product, setting your store up, optimizing it, and that can get a little bit technical, which is why I'm scoring it on a 5. Profit margins. So again, this is the profit that you make. Now, this isn't the sales volume, because one thing I hear time and time again is revenue, revenue, revenue. You speak about revenue when you're trying to show off on social media, but profit is the real sanity number that you're looking for. So profit margins when it comes to selling physical products, in my personal opinion, just aren't that great. So look, if you're doubling your money, you're doing amazingly well. But in most cases, you're maybe making between 30, 50% margins, which is why I'm going to score the profit margin of an FBA business as 3. You're going to need to shift a lot of volume. You're going to need to shift a lot of stock in order to make it worth your while if you're trying to get to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 a month, whatever that figure may be. Startup capital. Well, this is the thing with Amazon FBA. It's not that cheap. You need to invest in stock. You need to invest in product in order to have something to sell, which is why, as a ballpark figure, again, if you disagree, let me know in the comments. I'm going to go with £3,000 to £5,000 to start up an Amazon FBA business. Again, if you think you can do it for less, let me know. But I think if you want to go at this the right way, that's how much you're going to need to allocate for stock. And product delivery, well, listen, that is clearly a 1 because if it's FBA, they fulfill the product for you. There's not much for you to do, okay? So that's the score of Amazon FBA. Next, we're gonna move on to dropshipping. Now, many years ago, when I started, looking for ways to make money online, I actually tried dropshipping. And I remember getting my first couple of sales and I was so excited. But then when I looked into my dashboard and saw how much of the sales volume I kept, I wanted to cry because the margins just weren't that great. But anyway, so let's go into dropshipping and do exactly the same thing. Well, setup time, look, to be honest with you, Amazon FBA and dropshipping are very similar. So I'm gonna score it a 5 as well. The skill level to set up dropshipping, same sort of thing. You got to do your product research. It's essentially the same business model, but dropshipping, you never touch the product, whereas FBA, you have to get the product and then Amazon fulfill the product for you. So there's not much difference, but very subtle. Again, profit margins, I'll probably give dropshipping even less because personally, I think there are very slim margins on dropshipping and you need to shift a hell of a lot of stock in order to make the same amount of money as if you were doing, say, FBA or another business model. Startup capital. Well, with dropshipping, you need a lot less, but you still, in my opinion, are gonna need somewhere between £1,000 and £2,000 in order to start a drop shipping business. And again, product delivery, well, we're gonna give that a 1 because it is very straightforward, does not require much from your side once the product is sold, okay? So that's drop shipping out the way. Next, let's go on to the agency model. Now, marketing agencies is exactly how I got started. When I first learned the digital marketing skills on a 3-day bootcamp, I decided to go and become a local business consultant, meaning I would hire my services out to local businesses, help them gain customers, help them with online exposure, and help them grow their businesses, and this then scale into a marketing agency. So I know this model very well. In fact, in another video, I'll show you how I transitioned from a marketing agency into a more profitable business. But for now, let's stick to the agency model. So the setup time for a marketing agency is relatively simple. So I'm gonna give it a 2. It doesn't take much time. You, in most cases, don't even need a website. I know somebody who was making £10,000 a month and he never had his own website. So don't think that you need your all singing, all dancing website to go for that business model because it's just not true. So setup time, very straightforward. I'm gonna give that a 2. The skill level, this is where you need a little bit of skill level because look, I know there's a lot of people that start the agency model and they don't do the work themselves and they outsource too quickly. But here's the problem. If you do not understand the topic that you are outsourcing, you risk yourself getting burned. And it's happened to me in the early days is I was outsourcing a whole bunch of projects and I got burned. And I, was left red-faced in front of the client that I sold the service to. So from that moment, I decided to roll up my sleeves, to not be lazy and learn that particular sector for me as well. So in terms of skill level, I'm gonna give it a 7 because I think if you are gonna deliver an agency service, you need to know enough about each service that you offer rather than just knowing how to outsource it. Next, profit margins. So again, profit margins on a service can be somewhat slim. Now, I think they're a little bit better than the FBA and dropshipping model, but I don't think they're great, which is why I'm gonna score it a 5, okay? So 5 for the agency model in terms of profit margins. Now, startup capital, here's the good news. So if you have digital marketing skills, if you know how to generate leads, run advertising campaigns, build websites, create videos, do thumbnails, AI tools and softwares that are out now, if you know how to use them for a business's gain, for a business's growth, for a business exposure, then you can do very well. And the startup capital that you may need really is quite minimal. It's anywhere from nothing to £500. Yes, you can get started with nothing in this business model. And look, if you want to go with the Rolls-Royce tools and the Rolls-Royce branding, yeah, you might spend a few £100s, a £500 maximum. So you can start that business for 0 up to £500. Product delivery. This is where it gets a little bit more challenging because you see, when you are delivering a service, it's much harder than delivering a product because a product is already made. All you have to do is ship it, or Amazon will ship it for you, whatever the case may be. When you are delivering a service, you have to deliver the service until the customer is satisfied. So for the marketing agency, I'm going to give this, again, another solid 5 for the delivery of the service, because look, sometimes you'll deliver something, they're not quite happy. Sometimes you're promising leads, but they're not quite coming through because of whatever the reason may be. I had a disaster once with the whole GDPR situation, which I'll tell you another time, but it can be quite challenging. So next, let's move on to the e-learning model. Now, what is e-learning? E-learning is basically information products. E-learning is online education. So if you have an ebook, an online course, an online coaching program, if you teach people something, that is considered e-learning. E-learning setup time. How difficult is it to set up an e-learning business? So that could be an online course, an ebook, a coaching program, high ticket offer, membership site, along those lines. Well, the truth is, you can get started in as little as 24 hours, and I've taught hundreds, if not thousands of people how to already do that. However, it really does depend on your skill set. If you're computer literate, you will be faster. If not so much, you'll take a little bit longer. So I'm gonna give this a setup score of 4. Just because it really depends on your skill set. Now, next, the skill level. Do you need to be skilled in order to have an e-learning business? Well, the truth is, yes, you do, because you have to have some skill and you have to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the average person in order to sell that and monetize that skill. So again, for the skill level, I'm gonna go for a solid 8 here, just because if you are a complete beginner and you have no skills that some people will find useful, you're gonna need to learn some. That's just the harsh truth. Profit margins. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. And profit margins on this business are insane. So my business has 80 to 85% profit margins, because once you've created the product once, pretty much every time you sell it, you're incurring profit, apart from the customer acquisition cost and other admin costs that you may incur. So I'm gonna go for 9 on this particular one. Startup capital. Well, look, the truth is, you can get started for nothing, and I'm gonna go up to £1,000, because again, if you want the all singing, all dancing tools, softwares, if you want to spend money on paid traffic to sell those products, you're gonna need anywhere up to £1,000, but you can start from 0. We regularly have clients and students and people that we mentor start with 0. They have not even created their e-learning product, their online course, and they're making £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 and more. And then obviously they reinvest that money back into the business and scale up from there. And product delivery. Again, I'm gonna make sure that it is 2, because it's not quite a 1, because there's gonna be questions and support to deal with and people will have questions, but the reality is it's very simple to deliver an e-learning product. So there we have it. That is e-learning. Let's now move on to the final one, which is affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing, if you're not aware, is basically you getting a commission for referring someone else's business. So I'm going to explain it in the best possible way. Imagine you go to a restaurant and the restaurant owner says to you, hey, look, everyone that walks through the door and mentions your name, I'm gonna give you 10% of their bill, 20% of their bill, 50% of their bill, whatever that sum may be. That's basically what affiliate marketing is. It's just referral marketing, but online. And setup time for that really is a 2. It's very easy. All you need to do is sign up with a few affiliate links. They give you your own unique link to promote, and you're good to go. So it's very, very simple. The skill level, however, is a little bit of a challenge. So you are gonna need, some skills. So I'm gonna go with a 5, because you're gonna need to know how to drive traffic. You're gonna need to know how to get people to those links in order for you to get the commission. Then profit margins. Well, profit margins are okay. They're not too bad. I'm probably gonna go with a solid 4 here. It may be 4.5 just to be difficult, because look, the thing is, if you're gonna refer me business, I'm very happy to give you a kickback, but that kickback is always gonna be capped, because there's a delivery cost for me as the business owner, there's a fulfillment cost. So your margins aren't the best, like on e-learning products, but they're still very, very good considering the next part. Now, your startup capital is literally zero. You can get started with nothing. That's right, you can get started with absolutely nothing, and that's what makes this business model very lucrative to beginners. And we regularly get people from 0 to 5K a month selling other people's products, doing affiliate marketing. And then product delivery, well, again, that is a one because there's nothing for you to do. It's not your product. All you do is you bring that person to the restaurant. You don't need to do the cooking, the cleaning, the washing of the dishes. Your job is done. So there is a very good roundup of most of the businesses that are out there right now. So which one is best for you? Let me know in the comments. Which one do you like the sound more of? Which one appeals to you more and why? Finally, we've come to the bit you've been waiting. What is the common trait that most successful online entrepreneurs have? And what is it that they all have in common in their businesses? You may have figured it out by now. What I'm talking about is e-learning.
You see, the e-learning industry is growing to over 1 trillion over the next few years, and it is the best opportunity to start an online business right now.
And it is because of that very reason they all have an e-learning product. Think about it. What do all trading, FBA, dropshipping, agency guys and girls have in common? They all have some form of e-learning product. They all have an online course, a coaching program that they sell. And that's where they make the bulk of their money. E-learning changes everyday people's lives by getting on board at the right time, which is why I'm so passionate about this space, because it has completely transformed my life, and it can you. And if you want to know how to start an e-learning business, how to gain customers, which business model is right for you, and whether you even are suitable for it, then go ahead and get my new book, Knowledge Worth Millions, How Everyday People Are Becoming E-Learning Millionaires. I'll drop a link in the description where you can get a book for free. Just pay for postage and my team will ship it out to you straight away. So I hope this video has been useful and it's opened up your eyes into the different business models, and most importantly, that 90% of people online have an e-learning product, and that's where the bulk of the money is made. If you haven't already, go and get my book, and I will see you in the next video.